Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and I want to welcome everybody in today to the chat. I see Damien's in the house. Appreciate you joining. Appreciate all of y'all that are going to be joining the chat. Also, make sure as you're coming in, you hit that like button. Hit that like button. It's right down there at that, next to the bell there. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that bell. Hit that bell, subscribe, and then share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I took me a little 2-week hiatus. Needed a little break. Had some things going on with the family and things like that, busy. So I wanted to make sure that was out of the way before I started another podcast. Plus, I was a little disappointed in our Miami Dolphins season, the way that it turned out. But we got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about, what are the Dolphins doing in 2025? What are they doing? What are they doing? And what I would like to see them to do. And maybe you all, what would you like to see them to do? So maybe you agree with some of the stuff that I've come up with, what I'd like to see them to do. I don't know. We'll see. But before we get started, I want you all to know, I want you all to remember that we are all Dolphins, okay? But there's one thing we can agree on. We are all Dolphins. We're all Dolphins. So make sure you keep that in mind when we're talking. We want the best for our Miami Dolphins football team. And that's it, man. I want to see a Super Bowl. I want to see a Super Bowl. I've been a fan since 1969. So I've seen my share of Super Bowls with the Miami Dolphins back in the 70s. I grew up in down there in South Florida in Miami. And I was there for all those games, the undefeated season, in the 70s, all the way up to, I had season tickets all the way up to, I think it was 78, something like that, 77, 78. So, yeah, I got to see the glory days of the Miami Dolphins, and I want to see it again. I want to see it again. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. Rifleman, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. You got a question. I'm gonna go for your question real quick here, and then I'm gonna get started. Question: How did you keep Fitzpatrick? And it wasn't because he didn't like Flo. Then Flo ends up coaching with him that next year. That's a good question, man. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can answer that question, Rifleman. I'm not sure, man. I'm really not sure. But I see Onions Zine is in the house. Bisto 58, and of course Damien. So I appreciate you all for joining tonight. Make sure you hit that like button as you're coming in. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. So we got some good shows here, not just my show, Real Talk Fins Talk. But we got all kinds of shows on the Fins Talk Sports Network. We got baseball, basketball. We got the draft, on the clock with Bobby Fins Talk and others. So make sure you check out the listings on the Fins Talk Network, because we got shows going on in the mornings, afternoon, and the evenings. So don't forget to check those out as well. I see the Backup Binge podcast is in here, and I'm going to say it now. JB, that was a great show, brother. If you guys in the chat, you haven't checked out the Backup Binge podcast, really good podcast. And he had a great one this past week. He had AJ Dewey on the show. If you want to know some really, really some history about the Miami Dolphins, whether you're a history kind of guy and you like the history of the Miami Dolphins or not, go check that out and listen to AJ Dewey speaking about his time that he was with the Miami Dolphins, the games he was in, and Coach Don Shula. So if you want to know that history of the Miami Dolphins, I know it, but hear it from the horse's mouth, A.J. Dewey, who actually played on the football team. So go check out the Backup Bench podcast. JB has a good one. He has other shows on there too as well, other podcasts on there as well. I know he's talked baseball and things like that, all kinds of sports. So go check that out. Also, I want to make mention before I get started. Make sure you go check out Tony Dow on X, or as we all know him, TD Finstock. He has received his credentials from the NFL. Him and I think it's his crew with the Round Table Sports. They are at the Super Bowl right now. They are in New Orleans interviewing players. Patrick Mahomes, Coach Sirianni. They interviewed Fangio and other players for Kansas City and for the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So check those guys out. Congratulations to them. They've worked hard and for it, and dream come true for those guys. So, I'm really happy for those guys. Yes. So what are the Dolphins going to do in 2025? Well, the first thing that I think the Miami Dolphins need to do is they need to change the culture. They need to create a winning attitude and environment down there in South Florida. That's number one. That is the most important thing that they can do with this Miami Dolphins football team. They've got to create a winning attitude, environment, and they have got to toughen up. They've been soft. And we've heard plenty, and I'm not going to go over all the players that have said how soft the Miami Dolphins are. But I'm sure if you guys are, watching these sports networks and some of the players and interviews, how they said Miami's team is soft. Now, look, I know Achan said, we're not soft. We got some dogs on this team. We just got to bring it out in them. You can't bring out a dog in somebody, okay? You're either a dog or you're not, period. That's it. You're either a dog or you're not. You can't make a dog. You can't make a pussycat into a dog, okay? A pussycat is a pussycat and a dog is a dog. And that's it. We need some dogs, and we have some, but we don't have enough. We need like 15 Campbells and 10 Zach Sealers. That's what we need. We need about 15, 20 dogs on this team. And we don't have them. We have maybe 3, 4, maybe. Okay. But the culture's definitely got to change down there. We got to instill a winning attitude down there. None of this bull crap, sliding down the slide in the facilities and pool tables. And, they need to tighten that up. The coach, and that's up to the coaching. That's up to Mike McDaniel. That's up to Chris Greer, but mainly Mike McDaniel. He's the coach. He's down there in the trenches with those guys, he's with those guys. And is he going to do that? I don't know. I don't know. But in order for us to have a winning team, okay, I don't mean, a one and done in the playoff kind of team, 10, 11 wins every year or whatnot. I mean a winning team, a dynasty, okay, a team that's going to be going to the Super Bowl, or it's going to be going into the championships every year, okay, AFC championship games, winning the division. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. And the only way that we are going to have that is if we create a winning attitude and environment down there in South Florida. And we need some dogs. That culture needs to change. If it doesn't change, we're not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. That's a pipe dream. If you think the Miami Dolphins are going to go anywhere, if they don't change this culture, get some dogs and instill a winning attitude in these players. Not country club med. Okay? Because that's what we got down there now. All right. So that's the number one on the list. That's what I want to see to change in 2025, this offseason, the Miami Dolphins. Whether they do that or not, I don't know. Next thing, Tua Tagovailoa. Whether you like him or don't like him, he's our quarterback. He's going to be our quarterback next year and possibly the next 2-3 years. Unless he can't stay healthy, he gets hurt again. Okay? See, here's the thing with Tua now. I know a lot of folks were saying, well, Tua Tagovailoa, when he came back, we were winning games and blah, 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 blah. When Tua came, he played 11 games this year, right? He played 11 games this year, okay? He won 6. He was 6-5. Now, would he have won if he would have stayed healthy? Would he have won another 2 or 3 games? Maybe. We don't know that. But the fact of the matter is, he didn't stay healthy. He was concussed, and now we have to be concerned about a hip injury. A hip injury now. Last year it was concussed. We were, the off season before last year, right? Last year's off season, we were saying, man, we got to protect him. He can't be making all these runs and diving head first and all this stuff. And, he could possibly get cussed. Now we got to worry about a hip injury. That hip is not going to get any better. It might heal this year, in the off season, but starting the season off, if he's taking some hits, and he's going to take some hits, and as much as Chris Greer has said, well, we don't want to, see him running like that, but that's bullcrap. He's a quarterback in the NFL. He's going to run. He's a competitor. You're not going to stop that. And number 2, how are you going to stop somebody getting in from the blind side with this O-line? Like in the Houston game. I was at the Houston game. He got hit from the blind side when he fumbled. Okay? Those things that's just football. That's the nature of the game. He's going to get hit. And then now we're talking about, we need a better backup. A better backup for a starting quarterback. We need a starting caliber backup for our starting quarterback. Well, I know there's been talk going around of some rumors of Marcus Mariota. Is he the answer? I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do there? Maybe we're going to go with Tyler Huntley. I know there was some talk about him, re-signing with the Miami Dolphins. Maybe we're going to go back with him. But Tyler Huntley was 2-3. 2-3. He was almost 500 as a backup. Tua was 1 game above 500. So, I mean, how much more? What kind of backup do you want? You want a backup that's a starter? Then you might as well get rid of your starter and get a starter, another quarterback. How much more? How many more games you want your backup to win? Now, there's that rarity last year, Sam Darnold and all that, but those guys were legit starters at one time. Flacco, legit starter, Super Bowl winner. Okay? That costs money that we don't have. We are minus $15 million in cap. Minus 15. Sure, I know they can kick the can down the road on a few players and things like that. I get it. Are they going to reconstruct Tua's contract? I don't know. Maybe. That's just kicking the can down the road, and he's going to be extended for another year or two. I understand, Craig. I got you, brother. And Craig makes a good point. I get you, man. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Greg. Tua needs to stop with the hero ball stuff. Okay, so here's the thing, Greg. And I'm not getting at you personally, but here's the thing. So what do we want? A quarterback just stands back there and can't create, can't go off script if he's being pressured? Can't even do a rollout to throw the ball? Is that what we want? Then he's not a franchise quarterback. Then he's no good to my team if he can't run, if he can't be a little bit mobile, avoid the rush, roll out, and then he's done that. But now we got to be concerned about his hip injury now. And concussion. Another concussion now we have to be concerned about. That's my point. But I get what you're saying, Greg. I get what you're saying. He does need to slide for sure, 100%. That I agree with. That I agree with. He does need to slide and protect himself a little more. But let's face it, he's gonna run. He's gonna do it again. You know, he's going to, and he's gonna get hit back there, even if he doesn't. Step out of the way or run or whatnot or create or go off script. He's going to get hit, period. All right. Next thing I have is O-line. Yeah. I know a lot of folks are very concerned about the O-line, and I'm concerned about the O-line. And Ace Per Head, Curtis from Ace Per Head has convinced me. With viewing his data and the videos he's had on the O-line, it's bad. It's terrible. Okay. Tua and Mike McDaniel have created or designed this offense where he's getting the ball off fast. Okay. So that's what's been disguising the weaknesses in this O-line. But when you play against good teams, and they take away your passing game and your running game, you can see the vulnerabilities in your O-line big time. So we need to invest in two guards. And we don't know what Terron Armstead's going to do. We don't know what Kendall Lamb's going to do. If Armstead retires, Paul is going to have to step up. Look, I know some folks don't agree with PFF. I don't take it as a gospel either. I mean, I take it as a guide. I look at it as a guide, and then I look at the play of the player, like I'll view film and stuff, or just the eye test, watching the television and watching these guys as much as I can from the view in my living room couch, eating potato chips, as Tua says. But I'll and he was poor. His PFF rating was 45. That isn't even NFL caliber starting. That's not even starting. That's not even starting caliber for NFL. It's not. 45 is not. Okay. And I understand he's a rookie, but look where we drafted him at. A guy like that's supposed to come in and just take over the job, man. Now I know he's in competition against Armstead, and I if Armstead sticks around, great. But he's got an injury history too. And it's nice to have a backup, like a Paul or something, right? Being developed. But when Armstead retires, whether it's this year or next year, or he goes down in injury, can we depend on Patrick Paul? We're going to have to. He can't play guard. He can't play center. He's too big. He's a monster of a man. He's only a left tackle. He can play some right tackle, but he's better at left tackle. That's what we drafted him for left tackle. We need two guards, man. Eichenberg, bye. Jones, bye. I don't think any of those guys are going to be here next year. We need two guards regardless. You want to use them at backup? Go right ahead. But we need 2 legit pieces at the starting guard position. We need a center to back up Brewer. We need a center, a good, reliable center to back up Brewer. You see, with this O-line, this offseason, we're really going to see where the Dolphins are going with this scheme again. Are they going to continue with this quick pass, screen, bubble screen, type offense that we had last year? Or are they going to try to create something different? And that's what I'm going to keep my eye on this year, is because if they bring in a couple more guards, let's say they bring in a couple guards, maybe a tackle, if they're kind of similar skill set as Eichenberg or Robert Jones or someone like that, then we're going to stick with the same scheme. And to be honest, I don't think they're going to change up this scheme again. I really don't. I think they're going to go with what they've been doing, So yeah, you're looking and I'll go over at the end. I'll go over what actual needs we have to have here going forward. But yeah, so that's a big question mark. Is Armstead retiring? Is Paul going to improve? So, tied in. Yeah, I agree, Armando. I agree. Yeah, Armando makes a great point. The system is complicated, takes playing time to learn. I think pro caliber guard will take time to learn. Imagine a rookie. Yeah, that's a good point, man. 100%. So, tight end. We need another tight end. Look, Jonnu Smith made All-Pro, right? He had a hell of a year, okay? But he's not a blocker. He's a pass-catching tight end, not a very good blocker at all, okay? Smythe, he's dropped off the cliff. I don't know what happened to Smythe. His blocking has gone down. At one time, he was catching. He had a 75% or 80% catch rate, right? Everything he was catching everything they threw to him. Now I get it. Jonnu Smith kind of has taken his spot as far as that goes. So he took a lot of reps from Smythe, but he's dropped off the cliff. Julian Hill, okay. Julian Hill cannot. He's up and down. Okay, he misses a lot of blocking assignments. Okay, that's what I've observed. He's okay. He's not a very good pass catcher, not a very good route runner. We need another tight end. We need a legit tight end. I mean, an all-around tight end that can catch, that can block. That's what we need. And just to go back on the O-line as well, our O-line are a bunch of misfits. Okay, and this is what I mean by that. Our O-line has mismatches, right? They have one guy that's good pass blocker, one guy that's good run blocker, but a bad pass blocker. Well, you get the point, what I mean. There's nobody across the line that's average in everything and maybe better at pass blocking, but they're not even average. They're either average or above average pass blocking and terrible run blocking, are good at run blocking and terrible at pass blocking. We don't have somebody that's, is average or above average in both those categories, running and blocking. I mean, running and pass blocking. So that's what we need to observe this offseason as well. So yes, we need a tight end. We definitely need a tight end. Yeah, we could keep Julian Hill or Smythe or one of those two, but we definitely need a legit tight end that can start alongside, take more reps than a Smythe or a Julian Hill combined. We need somebody that's in there, 3 downs, blocking, and I'm sorry, Smith, John O. Smith's not it. Wide receiver. Here's my opinion on a wide receiver. Trade Tyreek's butt. Trade him. Just trade him. He quit on the team. Okay, he complained about his wrist all season. Okay. And here he is on X, working out in the gym, pushing the sleigh and all this other stuff, using his arms, his hands. Now, is he BSing us or what? What's going on with this guy? You can never believe anything that comes out of this guy's lips. And not only that, but he's a freaking troublemaker off the field. He's a pain in the butt. We don't need him in this organization anymore. Trade him now. Because if you wait another year or two, you're not going to get anything for him. To be quite frank, I think he's lost a step. That's my opinion. Trade him now. Trade him. Get some assets. We could use, we could get a guard. Get a guard in a third or second round pick or something. Get something for him. We gave up a lot for this guy. We're paying him big time bucks. Take him off the books. Get rid of him. Malik Washington can fill in for him. Although I'd like to see a bigger body wide receiver. Be nice to get a bigger body wide receiver in the offseason. He doesn't have to be an all-star like a Deontay, Hopkins or, somebody like that. Just a above average wide receiver. A tall 50-50 wide receiver kind of guy. That's what we need. Keep Waddle. I like Waddle. Okay? I like Waddle. Waddle did just fine without Tyreek in his first year, a couple years. He did fine. He led rookies in pass catches. Malik Washington, I think, is going to be he showed some really good flashes of being a good wide receiver. Okay, small side again. He's on the small side. Like I say, that's why I think we need to get a bigger body wide receiver. And are we going to go back with Craycraft? Or are we going to run it back with those other Dubose and the other guys? Now I know Taj Washington. We drafted him last year, but he was hurt all year. He didn't even see the field. So maybe he sees the field this year. I don't know. Maybe he develops into another wide receiver, but he's another small guy. He's another small guy. So we definitely need one or two wide receivers to bring in, and preferably a taller wide receiver, and maybe another one or two for backup, because I don't think Craycraft will be coming back anyway, or Dubose or the other guy. I can't remember his name. Estridge or Elkridge, I think it is. I don't know if he's coming back or not. A lot of these guys signed 1 and 2 year contracts, so I don't know. Running backs. We got Achane. Outstanding. I love Achane. Jalen Wright, we didn't see a lot of him last year, so we don't have a big sample size, to really say how he would do in a 17-game season, right? With a bunch of carries. We don't know. Okay. But what I did see, I liked. So Achane and Wright are probably the future as far as running back goes. Wilson and Mostert, I'm not sure if they're going to be around next year. They're up there in age. I'd like to see Miami bring in a power back. Not Alec Ingold kind of guy. I mean a power back. I mean somebody that can run, can catch, and can block. A big power back. And Ingle hasn't been the guy, man. I mean, he's made some plays here and there, but he's another guy. I know he's been hurt, and he dropped off in his blocking last year as well. Very disappointed in Ingle. So we need one or two more running backs, in my opinion. So let's go over this. Let's stop right here and go over this on the offense. Let's kind of go over what we've been talking about. So the needs. We need 3 to 4 offensive linemen. We need at least 2 legit starters. Now, if Armstead retires, then Paul's going to have to step up, and we better hope that Jackson doesn't get hurt again. I mean, he's okay. You know, he's okay. I mean, yeah, we could use an upgrade at right tackle too, in my opinion. You know, but it just all depends on what scheme they're going to run next year, and we'll know that more as once we get through free agency and the draft. We'll kind of know in kind of what direction Miami's going as far as the O-line goes in the scheme. You know, we'll see. So yeah. 1 or 2 wide receivers. We definitely need 1 or 2 wide receivers. We definitely need a tight end. I mean, a legit tight end, starting caliber tight end. Okay, not Julian Hill. Somebody above Julian Hill. A step or 2 above Julian Hill. A veteran, preferably. Or maybe a rookie. You know, I don't know. Running backs. We definitely need 2. Quarterback. We're going to need a backup, man. We're going to need a backup. Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to need a backup. You know, even if we go with Tyler Huntley, I think we still are going to go with another quarterback, you know, third quarterback. Now that we know that, you know, we've got concerns with his hip injury now, not only concussion, but now hip injury. So yeah, we're gonna have to get a decent backup to go along with Huntley. So that's it on the offense. Now, also, I had some notes here about Darrell Bevel. Well, there was a possibility for him going to the Raiders, but the Raiders chose someone else, Chip Galley. So Bevel will stay. So that's good. We needed some continuity there. I know he and Tua have a good relationship. So who knows? Maybe Bevel's the guy that's helped, you know, with Tua's improvements here and there, and kind of disguised his weaknesses and enhanced his strengths. So anyway, I'm glad we were able to keep Bevel. You know, okay, we got some continuity there. All right, so let's go to the defensive side. And before I get going on with the defensive side, Weaver's not going anywhere either. There is possibility Weaver was going to go. I think it was New Orleans or New Orleans and Chicago. He had interviews, and they chose Kellen Moore in New Orleans. So I don't think Weaver's ready anyway, to be honest with you. And I'm glad he's staying. I might be biased. I'm glad he's staying. He did a hell of a job with the defense, you know, and I know I've been hard on him, a little bit, where I said, well, you know, look at the teams they played. They played an easy schedule, which is true. But regardless, he did a good job with the players that he had on hand. And so we'll see. We'll give him another year, but I think he did a decent job. So this year is going to be more telling, I think. I know a lot of folks said last year was the easiest schedule we had. It's the easiest schedule in the NFL last year, and we were 8-9. And to be honest with you, last year I predicted 10-7. I said was Dolphins' ceiling, and I said, but don't be surprised if they did go 8-8, win 8 or 9 games, and they did. They won 8 games. So this year, I've looked at the schedule. Now, we don't know the the date and the times, but we know who we're playing at home, who we're playing away, and that kind of thing. This schedule looks tougher than last year's schedule when I looked at it. I thought last year's schedule was going to be a little tough, and it was. It was challenging for the Miami Dolphins just because of the personnel and the folks they were playing, right? Tennessee Titans. I knew that was going to be a tough game for the simple reason of Vrabel. And now Vrabel's with who's it, with the Jets, right? No. Who's Vrabel with? New England. He's back with New England. So Vrabel's got the Dolphins number, ladies and gentlemen. And now he's in New England. So I wouldn't be surprised if we split with New England next year and we split with the Jets as well. Again. So right there, that's 2 losses. Are we going to beat Buffalo twice? If we split, that's 3 losses just in our own division. So it's going to be tough going next year, man. And, you know, a lot of folks were telling me at the beginning of the year, oh, well, I like this team the way, you know, Chris Greer was cooking, you know, and he got this guy and he got that guy and blah, 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 blah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we don't even have the money this year to even do half of what we did last year. At least I don't think so at this point. Things could change. But yeah, Armando, I agree with you, brother. They do need to he needs to hit in the draft. And he's got 10 picks, right? 10 picks, maybe a couple of compensatory picks, I think. But he's got 10 picks. So he's got to make the best of them. And if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and you look at the Kansas City Chiefs drafting for the last 5, 6, 7 years, they've hit on 4 and 5 every year. And I'm talking about starters every year. Can he get 3 or 4 starters out of this year's draft? Legit starters that are average or above average players? Can he do that? I don't have that much confidence in Chris Greer. I don't. But anyway, let's go with the defense. So on the defense, we'll start with the edge. Now, we all know Chop Robinson was a rookie last year. Went out, had a slow start. Again, we played against some bad teams, and when we played against some of those bad teams, he stood out. He did well. Against the good teams, not so much. So I know he got some honors this year, some rookie honors and stuff this year. Can he improve next year? Can he improve for next year? He wasn't very good on the run at all. Okay? But if he improves next year, is he going to be the starter? Is he going to be out Jalen Phillips? And is Jalen Phillips going to come back at the start of the year, or are we going to have to wait on him to heal? I think they brought him back too early last year. That's one of the reasons why I think he got hurt again. But he's been hurt twice in two years in a row, Jalen Phillips. Is he going to be 100%? Is he going to be the same when he comes back? Has he lost a step? I don't know. Bradley Chubb, he's another guy I'd like to get rid of. That's another guy I'd like to release or trade or something. Get some money from him, right? Get that money back from him, right? Again, he didn't play all year, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't play all year. All freaking year he didn't play. Are we going to keep him on this team? So, in my opinion, we're going to need some edge rushers. I know we got Kamara. He didn't play one snap last year. Another guy we drafted. He didn't play one snap. Okay? He didn't play one snap. So we need an edge rusher. I don't know. I know Myles Garrett, right? Somebody was talking about Myles Garrett. Can we trade for Myles Garrett? I don't know, man. Or who's the other one? The guy who plays for the Raiders. I can't think of his name now. He escapes me. Maybe you guys know in the chat. The guy I'm talking about, Crosby. Yeah, Crosby. That's him. Crosby. Maybe we get Crosby. I don't know. Who knows? No, we can't get a lot of big name players, not with the monies we have or don't have right now. So yeah, Anthony, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining. Make sure you all hit that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. Anthony, good to see you, brother, man. You always have good comments. I like to see you in here, man. Yeah, okay, Shamar Stewart. I don't know much about him, but I'll do some research on him now that you brought up his name, because I think we're going to need to get another edge rusher, maybe in the draft or free agency. Max Crosby, yeah, right. Thank you, Anthony. Now we'll go to the linebackers. Okay, Brooks, Dotson, and Walker. They'll probably all be back next year. I liked Brooks. Brooks had a hell of a season with us. We definitely upgraded, in my opinion, at linebacker by releasing Jerome Baker. We definitely upgraded there. Good job on Chris Greer's part, obtaining Brooks. Dotson was another guy. He didn't play a lot, but when he did play, he made some impactful plays. So is he a 3-down starter? I don't know. But he definitely made some I think he had 2 or 3 interceptions this year. So, yeah, Crazy Dolphin, thanks, man. You're right. You're right, man. You're absolutely right, man. Myles Garrett said he wants to go to a winning team, so that's out. Maybe. Oh, boy. Steve, I hate to say this, but I think we might have to move on from Jalen Phillips if he can't stay healthy. I understand he's young, but the track record of him not staying healthy. Yeah, I did mention that, Anthony. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do, but, yeah, we might have to move on with him just on account of his injury history for sure. Sackman, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you for joining tonight, man. Jalen Walker is sitting at 13. Do you take him? To be quite frank with you, Sackman, I haven't done a lot of research on the draft class. But if you want to go and watch On the Clock here on the Fins Talk Sports Network, we have all the draft mock drafts, and they talk about all the players and stuff in the draft. So I might be joining that maybe if I'm invited here later on. But I definitely got to do my research on these college studs coming out. Thanks for mentioning that. So yeah, linebacker. We're definitely going to need at least 1 or 2 more linebackers, in my opinion. All right, now for cornerback position. I'm just going to list the cornerback and the safety position as defensive backs. Right now, we're going to need 2 safeties as it stands. Poyer, I don't think, is coming back. Holland, I don't think we're going to sign him. I think he's going to go. And then we've got Fuller and Ramsey at cornerbacks. And we got Smith and Bonner. Are we going to keep Smith? Are we going to continue with this guy? Bonner, we heard so much about Ethan Bonner in the offseason, right? And then he kind of just disappeared. So we got Storm Duck. He played. He filled in here and there. He did okay. And then we got McMorris. I know he was hurt for a little while. He came in a few times. So those 2 guys are safeties. So we'll see. I think Storm Duck is a corner, but McMorris, I think, is a safety. So we're probably bringing him back. But I definitely think we're going to need at least 2 safeties and maybe another cornerback. So probably 3 right there. Linebacker would definitely need at least 1 or 2 linebackers and at least 1 or 2 edge rushers for sure. So just on the defense alone, you're looking at now. These are just what I think we need. I don't know who they're going to release or anything, but if we do release others, then we're going to need to replace them as well. And are they going to be at the same caliber or better? So right now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 on the defense that we have to replace, whether they come in as rotational players or starters. That's 4 or 5 just on the defense, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's a good question, Crazy Dolphins. What happened to Cameron Good? I know he got hurt, and then I don't think he came back. But, yeah, he'll be on the team. So even so, I think we still need a couple more linebackers, to be honest with you. Cameron Good was more of a special teams player, backup special teams / special teams player, as like with Duke Riley as well. So, but I still believe we need 1 or 2 linebackers. All right. So on offense, the needs, we need 3 to 4 O linemen. We need 1 to 2 wide receivers, preferably 2. Definitely need a tight end. Running backs, we need to replace Wilson and Mostert unless they're running it back with those guys. But even so, I think we need at least one more running back, power back. Backup quarterback is the biggie, right? So right there, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players on the offense. 9. Now, grant you, 2 are going to probably be starters on the O-line. Maybe 1 wide receiver, depending on what we do with Tyreek. Going to need at least 1 tight end, starter caliber tight end. Achane and Wright are going to be our starters. We're going to need at least 1 running back to come in and rotate, with those guys. And maybe another guy, right? In case one goes down and gets hurt. And we're going to need a backup. Along with, if we do keep Huntley, we still need a 3rd quarterback. So that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 14 players. 12, let's say 12 to 14 players, okay, that we're going to need to either be really good rotational players, starters, or backup. It's a lot of players. And I think we have 35 or 38 under contract right now. So 38, see, that's 48, 49, 51. Yeah, that's 13 to 14 players. So that we need. Okay. So I don't know, man. I don't feel very confident on this season coming up. I really don't. It's too early to say right now because we haven't gone through the free agency. We haven't gone through the draft. We don't know who we're releasing. This is all speculation. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. This is just my opinion. And this is what I like to see what, the Miami Dolphins do for 2025. And yes, Armando, do not trust Greer at all. Not at all. So we'll see how it goes, guys. We'll see how it goes. And I know in March is free agency, I believe. March. Then we got the draft in April. But up and coming, we have the Super Bowl. Who y'all taking in the Super Bowl? Who y'all taking? Anthony, I'm not going to drop the link tonight. Number one, I forgot how to do it. I have to figure out how to do it again. But I'm not going to drop the link tonight. But I am, just to let you guys know, yeah, Crazy Dolphin is supposed to be a good running back class. You got Eagles by 14? against the Kansas City Chiefs. Woo! Wow. Yeah, I'd like to see the Eagles win, but I'm afraid Kansas City's going to pull it off again. But I definitely like to see the Eagles win, man. I really do. But let me let you guys know what I got up and coming, so you all know. So I'll be on every Tuesday, unless something comes up. But I like to be consistent every Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on the Fins Talk Sports Network. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to incorporate the Tuesday therapy again, at least once a month. And Tuesday therapy is going to be right up your alley, Anthony. Tuesday therapy will be a time where I will have all the fans come up and they can voice their opinions and, just have a voice up here on the platform on the Real Talk Fins Talk. I'll be dropping the link one Tuesday every month. And then you'll probably catch me on the clock when we have our draft coverage on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I'm going to try to implement some more panel shows with the gang here on the Fins Talk Sports Network. So we'll have that, and then we'll have I'm probably going to have some more guests on, other podcasters and stuff come on. That's what I normally do during the off season, just to keep it going and get their input as well. But Tuesday night is definitely that one night a month. On Tuesday night will be that panel show, Tuesday therapy with for the Dolphins. All the Dolphins out there in the community can come up and give their opinions. So don't forget to watch. Come in and watch that show. And if you want to come and join the panel on that night, you can as well. I'd love to hear from all of you all, get your input and opinions as well. You guys are what keep me going. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you very much, Armando. I appreciate the super chat, brother. Yes, I will bring on Ace Per Head. He's my buddy, man. He's a good guy. I love him, man. He has some good information, good data. He's really good with the O-line. Overall, he's just really knowledgeable when it comes to football, a lot more than I am. And I'm definitely going to have him on, is for sure. Make sure you guys check the Fins Talk Sports Network for all those other shows that I mentioned earlier. We got all kinds of stuff going on this network. And also catch the guys on the Roundtable Sports. They're over there in New Orleans right now, doing all the Super Bowl coverage and everything. They're doing a great job. They're on X. They'll bring up the interviews and stuff on X. TD Fins Talk. His name is Tony Dow. That's his real name. So if you see that on X, that's TD Fins Talk, Tony Dow. He's there, and then you've got three of his partners as well. Don or Dan Mitchell, I think, and a couple other guys. And I know I can't remember their names, but go over there and watch that as well, man. Good coverage. Kenna, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining tonight, man. Crazy Dolphin. That's what I'm going to try to do this year, for the off season for sure. Like to get you up here, man. Crazy Dolphin. Like to get you up here. Like to get Kenna up here. I know Kenna likes to come on. We got Anthony's in the house. Maybe we'll get Armando on here as well. But, appreciate you guys for joining tonight. Just don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. And I'm going to call it a night. And I will be on next Tuesday. Don't forget, next Tuesday. Please come join. 7:30 Eastern time on the Fins Talks on the Fins Talk Sports Network, guys. Appreciate you. God bless. And remember, Dolphins #1, baby.